In this lesson, I'd like to show you how to create a public key from your digital signature's private. The public key will just be a file that I could go ahead and send to an end user. Whenever I create a document and sign it with a digital ID and send it to that user, they will have that public key installed in their copy of Acrobat, and they can compare it against my digital ID and authenticate that the ID is really from me and not a fraudulent ID. So it's a simple way to authenticate any digital ID that's been used as a signature inside of a document. To start this, I'm going to go to my Edit menu, and from Edit all the way at the bottom I'm going to choose Preferences. Under Preferences, I want to make sure that I'm in the Signatures category, and then down under Identities and Trusted Certificates I'm going to click on More. Now if I click or look on the left hand side of the dialog, I can see that I have two digital signatures here. If I click the one with my name on it, I can see my digital signature here, and I will come up to start creating the public key. I will choose Export, and it brings up this dialog. The dialog tells me that it's going to create something called a data exchange file. This is the public key. Now I can take this file and have it emailed to someone, or I can just save it as a file and email it myself, or send it to them any way I'd like. Notice up here it says that exporting your certificate or your public key does not export your private key. So this just tells you that you are not dealing with the private key, and it's a hint that you are creating a public key. I will click on Next, and it's just asking me where I'd like to save my file. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this into my digital IDs folder that we worked with in the previous two videos. Notice that this file is going to be called Cert Exchange Chris. My name's going to be on this, and it's going to have an FDF extension. I'll go ahead and click on Save, and it tells me that the save operation was complete. I'll go ahead and click OK. Now if I look out here inside of my digital IDs folder, I can see that there's a new file called Cert Exchange Chris FDF. And from this point I could attach this to an email, or I could send it to another person any way I'd like. And then they can go ahead and install that inside of their Acrobat, and anytime I send them a document that needs authentication, in this case we're using digital signatures, the system will recognize that the two go together and that my signature is authentic. Keep in mind that the files with the PFX extension are your private keys. We see one for Betty Smith and we see one for Chris. The FDF is the public key. Never send your private keys, those you want to keep saved on your computer. But you can send these public keys to anybody you'd like, and then they can go ahead and verify and authenticate your signatures when they arrive in an email or an attachment. Now, once your end user has a copy of your public key, here's how they would install it. They would come out to their Edit menu and go down to Preferences, and then under Preferences, they want to make sure they're on Signatures. They will come out to their Identities and Trust Certificates area and choose More. Next, they would come out and choose Trusted Certificates, and then up at the top, they will choose Import. Now in the Contacts area, you want to come out and browse for that file that we just created. And under the Digital IDs folder, I can see the Cert Exchange Chris FDF. That's the public key. I'll go ahead and click on it. I'll click on Open, and I see the file here. This is the public key. Click on this and then click on Import, and you'll get a confirmation that the import succeeded. I'll click OK. And now back under Trusted Certificates, you will see your public key. And it's important to select this and then come up and choose Edit Trust. And here in the Edit Certificate Trust, you want to come up and you want to choose this setting up here, this checkbox that says Use this certificate as a trusted root. And then come out and click OK. And then close this dialog. And then go ahead and click OK to close down the Preferences dialog. And now this has been installed. So anytime that they received your document with the signature on it, they could go ahead and click on the signature, and then over in the panel they can see that the signature has been authenticated.